What up, what up, what up? It's RJ Fantasy Football Talk. You know what it is. It's Rodney. It's Jay. He's the 40-second play clock.
What's
You
up?
know what it is. What's going on?
Hey man, it's going well. I got the higher number of games this week, so I had to do some homework, but I'm ready for it. Had some surprises today. I'll start off with.
Well, we can go ahead and let you start off with. Start it off and get it going. Let's go.
All right, so I'm gonna get it started over in London town. Make sure you set your clocks early because the first game is the Falcons and the Jets, 9:30 Eastern time. Just announced today that there's going to be no Calvin Ridley. There was already going to be no Russell Gage. Some people are picking up Olamide Zaccheaus, or however you pronounce it. I'm not really with that because I don't see that turning out well. I think it's going to be a really big game for Kyle Pitts, another big game for Cordero Patterson, and I'm even going to say throw in Hayden Hurst. I can see them doing a lot of two touchdown sets. As far as the Jets, they got their first win, but I ain't going with anybody but Jamison Crowder and Corey Davis. That's it. I know Michael Carter's your boy. I ain't playing him. If I play a rookie, it's going to be Elijah Moore. So there you go. Of course, it's tough to call, but I'm going to say the Falcons win.
Yeah, I'm going to get this one to the Falcons. Michael Carter might not be a bad play. That Atlanta defense is not that great. And with the receptions out the backfield, I think he should have a pretty good game. But I'm going with Atlanta. Kyle Pitts should kind of get out of this funk that he's in.
If he can't start in this game, then I'm going to be kind of scared for the rest of the season.
Definitely, me too. So I'm going to go ahead and start with mine. And I'm starting at the 49ers and the Cardinals. And you know where I'm going. I'm going with Niners on this with the upset. And it's the Trey Lance era. It's starting, baby. 4:25 on Sunday. You starting Trey Lance, you starting Debo, you starting George Kittle, you even throwing Brandon Ayuk because I think this offense is going to be a little bit more powerful with Trey Lance out there. Obviously, you go Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, even Chase Edmonds a little bit. He had a good game last week, but I'm going with the Niners on this one. I think Trey Lance is going to make a big difference in this thing, and it's going to start the era. No more Jimmy. Let's go.
So you got the 72 Dolphins popping champagne bottles next week.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm going to say they need to keep them bottles on ice. I'm going with the Cards. They are impressing me this year, more so than I expected them to.
Okay.
All right. But
you can lose this one.
We'll find out. So my next game is going to be the Vikings and the Lions. Unfortunately, this is like the all-injured game. Hawkinson has a knee problem. DeAndre Swift has a groin problem. Even Jamal Williams has a hip problem. They probably play. Check back here on Saturday, and we'll hopefully have an update for you. But I think the Vikings are going to win this one. Kirk Cousins had his worst game of the year, so I expect him to bounce back. So he, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson hopefully put his word again. Oh yeah, there's this guy named Dalvin Cook. Well, will be back another week, and I think he'll also be better than last week. So Vikings with the win. Don't mess with too many of them Lions players. Hawkinson, I think you have to play in Swift if they're healthy, but yeah, check back. Hopefully they're playing.
Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings on this one. Yeah. It's the Lions.
They're bad.
Yeah, they're bad. You might as well pencil in all the starters that you normally play on offense for the Vikings and just let it go. Let it rip, you know. I'm gonna go to my next game, which is the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, which this actually might turn out to be a pretty good game. But I'm going with Dallas. With Dallas, you bring out all the guns. You start all the receivers. You start Zeke. You start Prescott. Daniel Jones has looked good the last couple of weeks. You know, one surprise, well, I ain't that surprised, but one guy who's actually coming back to life is Saquon Barkley. He looked great last week, for the last 2 weeks actually. And Kenny Galladay. But I'm going with the Cowboys. I think the defense is going to show up for this one. And I think they're going to give Daniel Jones a few problems. Well, he might have a couple of turnovers.
I'm with you. I'm also picking the Cowboys to win this one. The Giants got their win out the way so they can go back to their losing now. So we'll take it to the next game. It's the Broncos and the Steelers. And Ben Roethlisberger is really bad. And I think I mentioned Wednesday, abandoned ship with him and all his receivers, except for Deontay Johnson. I'm playing him, and I'm playing the other wide receiver, Najee Harris, I think is his name. He's going to have a field day, I think, as much as possible. Hey, this is my 40 seconds. You save your comments. I don't really like a lot of players on the Broncos, but I think the Broncos are still going to win because their defense, I think, is legit, and I think they're going to give the Steelers all they can handle. I'm not going to recommend anybody but maybe Cortland Sutton, and I like Noah Fant. We'll see who's quarterback, whether it's going to be Bridgewater or Drew Lock. Bridgewater's practicing, but I'm still not picking him as a fantasy play unless you're in the 2-quarterback league or something like that. Super flex.
Well, you're such a hater.
I am a hater. Yes.
I don't know what you hate as far as Najee Harris.
I love Najee Harris. I'm just saying he's a wide receiver. That's all I'm saying.
He's a running back.
Not really.
He is a running back. Okay.
He's
a running back. He has a running back tag back name. But you're such a hater. Why do you hate that man so much?
I love that man.
Geez.
I say he's gonna have a somewhat field day. I think the Broncos defense will keep him in check a bit more than some other teams will, but he's a player.
I'm not picking the Steelers on this one.
Not at all.
I think the Steelers are not going to win this game. I think, honestly, they need to go. So I think it came out today that they said they're not benching Ben Roethlisberger at all. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. You don't have to bench him, but we all know what he is. He can't move. He's stiff. You need to go in a different direction.
Hey, you hear the Aaron Rodgers rumors?
I'm hearing that too.
Hey,
so
that'll have me happy for next year if I'm a Steelers fan. Because this year
that would be great. I mean, because really their season is washed.
Yeah,
they're kind of in a situation, like some other team that I know that I root for. They need to move on from him. Yeah. Like he really can't move though. Like he's stiff, man. Lord have mercy, it's bad too. So. But I'm going to move on to the next game, and we got the Cleveland Browns and the LA Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers on this one. I think the Chargers is just a better team over Cleveland. Cleveland defense is good. I think the major problem for Cleveland is going to be Baker Mayfield trying to keep up with Justin Herbert, and it's not going to happen. Eckler, obviously you go Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. If you need Baker Mayfield, you start Baker Mayfield, but I don't know about that. Odell and Nick Chubb, but I'm definitely going LA. And on the other note, they saying that Baker Mayfield been playing with an injury on his shoulder for the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if that's going to affect him or not. But definitely, I'm rolling with the Chargers on this one.
They hurt my heart last week, but I got to pick the Chargers. They're a better team. In fact, maybe the best team.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with that. Yeah,
I don't like it, but I can't deny what
we know
I
you
saw.
don't. We know you don't. Like
good.
It.
Chargers will win this one.
Okay.
All right, my next game is the Saints and the Washington Football Team, and the Saints lost to the Giants. The Washington Football Team has apparently found a hero in Taylor Heinicke, so. Whatever. He's still a backup to me, but hey, he should have a good game this time. So good for him. Jameis Winston, abandoned ship. I'm not even trying to mess with him or anybody. I'm actually picking the Washington Football Team to win. Even though Logan Thomas is out, we'll see if Ricky Seals-Jones can be good. But don't pick this guy up. But let's see if we see some action from Sammis Reyes. I was excited about him in the offseason. But for Washington Football Team, you play your Antonio Gibson because I think J.K. McKissick has a good game. And, of course, Scary Terry. That'll be enough for them to get the win.
I'm going Washington on this one. I think Heinicke.
Yeah.
Is he a backup?
Yes, he is. But not for this team. He's a starter for this team. He's a starter for this particular team because it works. Yes. Hey, it works.
He's good. He's good for this team. Yeah. But I think he holds on to the job. But I think he's good for this team. I just don't see New Orleans keeping up or doing anything. I think they're going back to that switching out Taysom Hill for Jameis Winston.
This is not the Jameis Winston people signed up for when they drafted him. So I think that offense is just bad. Other than AK-41 with Camaro, I don't really like anybody until maybe Michael Thomas comes back. Trade rumors, we'll find out.
Yeah, but I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't like the way they rotate quarterbacks. I think it's pretty stupid. I mean, I think if you got one, stick with one personally. But you know the golden rule. If you're playing two quarterbacks, you don't have one. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So, but I think they're gonna be good. So the Redskins. I mean, I'm sorry,
the Washington
football team.
Despite their facilities getting raided. That's exactly. Another story for another time.
That's another story for another day. So I'm gonna go to this next game, and it's Philly at Carolina, and I'm going Carolina on this one. It was a tough decision for me. Jalen Hurts been playing pretty well. Devontae Smith been playing pretty well. That combination is starting to come alive a little bit. But I think Carolina's just gonna have too much. They get CMC back this week, and he's gonna do a lot of running on them. Sam Donald's looked great this year so far, and DJ Moore has looked awesome too. So I'm going with Carolina. I just think it's gonna be too much for him.
I am also picking the Carolina Panthers on this one because I just think they're a better team, especially once they get CMC back. I think CMC might hurt Sam Darnold fantasy-wise, but obviously the team gets better because I kind of liked them having to depend on Sam Darnold last week. I was hoping to see that again, but that's because I had Sam Darnold starting in a couple of leagues. So selfish. But,
selfish reasons.
Selfish reasons. That's what fantasy football is. It's all about being selfish.
That is true.
So let's go to this next game, and then it's a nasty one. It's the Patriots and the Texans. As good as the Patriots look playing against the Bucs in their loss, I'm not going with anybody on that squad except for maybe the new James White. His name is Brandon Bowden, but I'm not really that excited about that. Give me Brandon Cooks. Give me nobody else. The Patriots win because I think Belichick is pretty good playing against rookie quarterbacks, which Davis Mills is. So they're gonna make easy work of the Texans, I think.
Obviously, Patriots gonna win this game, but I still say play Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks is the one name. Unless the name is Brandon, I'm not putting Brandon Cooks, Brandon Bowden, the only two guys I'm interested in.
Yeah,
Brandon Bowden is only like if you're desperate at running back flex.
But Brandon Cooks should be in your starting.
Cooks is a definite starter.
He should be in your starting lineup. He's the guy that's, for me, he's an every week starter because he just does it with whoever's at quarterback.
Because there's nobody else there. So
so he's an every week starter. So you got to play him definitely. So definitely I'm going with New England though, just on a defensive wise.
Yeah.
Because I think the defense, I still don't believe in Mac Jones, so I don't think that's going to be the cause of the win. So definitely. My next game though is Miami and Tampa Bay. And for Miami, you play Mike Gesicki and Jalen Waller. That's about it. For Tampa Bay, you play your normal people: Brady, Godwin, Mike Evans, even Fournette. Fournette's been rushing a lot. They've been giving him the ball a lot. It seems like they're leaning on him pretty much a lot as far as running game. Ronald Jones pretty much disappeared. So if you're going to roll with any running back off that roster, it's Leonard Fournette. But I'm going Tampa Bay. It's too much, too talented, too good, period.
Yeah, Tampa Bay easily. My next game is going to be the Bears, and who is it but the Las Vegas Raiders? Do I even need to say Hunter Renfro's name anymore at this point? You play him. And I guess some other guys like Derek Carr, Ruggs, and Darren Waller because he's the best thing going. Hopefully Josh Jacobs has a better game for the Bears. It's the Justin Fields era, but I'm not really feeling anybody for real because I think, and I can't believe I'm saying it, the Raiders defense, I think is going to be a problem for them. But Damian Williams should have a good game because the Raiders still can't stop the run. I love Darnell Mooney, and hopefully Allen Robinson has to get better because I know that's been a big disappointment. But Raiders going to win, obviously.
Well, you're right. I'm going with the Raiders.
Everybody is.
They're better. They're a better team. But I will say this though.
Yeah.
I think Justin Fields is gonna be. He was good last week. I think he's gonna be a little bit.
Not fantasy wise. He was alright.
I'm talking about real life.
Oh, I don't care about real life. But continue.
But fantasy wise, he wasn't really that great. But what I'm saying is, I think he is gonna be a lot better this week because I think him and the offensive coordinator are kind of getting it together. Yeah. But I'm going to go out on
He's looked better every week because last week was way better than that first week he started.
Well, they took the play calling from Matt Nagy, and they gave it to the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say this. if they string together a couple of wins, just say 2 or 3 wins. I ain't saying they're gonna beat y'all, but if they win games after y'all, I think Matt Nagy's gonna be fired and they're gonna give the job to the offensive coordinator, because at this point, if the offensive coordinator can get Fields to play better and actually produce, I think they might as well make him the coach.
They should. Is it? And I know it's a 40-second play clock. I'm gonna add extra time on this. It's kind of odd to me that at first they were talking about, it's still gonna be Andy Dalton, and just like recently said, now we flip back. It's like they've been back and forth for a lot of, and I don't think it's Nagy who's pulling for Justin Fields. So I'm with you. That coach change could happen before the season's over, and it should.
Well, I think the whole thing with Fields starting for the rest, just giving him the keys now, I think that came from the owner.
It came from the top. You are 100% right.
I think that came from the owner.
100%.
Matt Nagy has no say, because he was going to keep riding with Andy Dalton if he could. But I think that really came from the owner, and the owner made him make that move.
Yeah.
To save his job, but I don't think his job gonna be saved anyway.
Either the owner or the general manager trying to save his job. Somebody over his head went on that one. So
they came down to the field, say, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and start this guy. You know, it reminds you remember I'm sorry to keep going on this, but you remember the movie Any Given Sunday?
Yeah.
This situation reminds me of that, and the 49ers situation reminds me of that a little bit.
I can see
because you got the old veteran who don't want to give it up to the young black guy. It kind of hinges on that a little bit.
My only problem is both of these old veterans are really bad at quarterback. So
that's true. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm telling you,
I don't get it.
I think about that all the time with these two situations,
right? Because
it's like they trying to keep their job, but these two young guys are pushing them out the door, and that's the same thing was in that movie. So it makes a little sense. A little football reference, but
all right. Watch the movie if you haven't.
Yeah, if you watch it, it'll remind you of the situation.
Your game.
So my next game is Green Bay at Cincinnati. Obviously, Green Bay is gonna win this game. Cincinnati, they're good. Don't get me wrong, but Green Bay, I think, will win this. You start everybody that you normally would start for Green Bay. For Cincinnati, you go Joe Burrow. Obviously, T. Higgins is coming back. Jamar Chase, because they don't have a running back. He's hurt. So I think it's going to be a lot of throwing in this game. Hopefully, Joe Burrow doesn't end up on his back 15 times. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt, because he's starting to play well. But I think Green Bay wins this.
Like you said, this is an obvious Green Bay win, so that should go for them. My next game is the exciting. This is the fantasy high-scoring dream. Bills and the Chiefs. I think I told y'all Wednesday, play them if you got them. Play him if you got him. And I actually like Dawson Knox. I think he's going to have a pretty good game here. But here's one guy you're not playing, and this was in our Wednesday show, Mecole Hardman, because we might see Josh Gordon for the first time this week. And from what they say, he's been looking pretty good. Mahomes is excited about being able to throw to him. So I'm not a Josh Gordon guy, but I think it's something to watch, because we'll see how it goes. It's hard to decide who's going to win this one. I think the Bills had a better defense, but the Chiefs are backed up against the wall, so I think they find the energy to win this because they're playing at home. So I'm going to say Chiefs, but I don't feel 100% confident
in it. I'm going with the Bills.
Yeah, I figured you would, hater.
Why I gotta be a hater for? I think the Bills. That's not a hate. Come on, man. Don't do me like that. I don't hate. It's not a hate bone in my body. I don't know what you're talking about. I just think they've been on fire the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and they're looking good.
The Chiefs defense has it.
The Chiefs don't have a defense. No.
And it's gonna be a problem.
That's gonna be a big problem.
They're gonna shred that secondary. And I think it's gonna be a shootout between Mahomes and Allen. But I think it's gonna come down to Allen shredding them for the last touchdown.
You taking the over or the under in this game?
I'm taking the over.
Yeah, like there's no limit on points. Okay, it's gonna be interesting.
I'm thinking 42-30. 35. I'm thinking it's gonna be something in that general
It's gonna
area.
be crazy.
So it's gonna be a lot of points go. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm taking Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins this, man. But it's gonna be tight though. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna go into my last game, which is the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you're rolling with your usual suspects from Tennessee. They're getting obviously Derrick Henry, but you're getting AJ Brown and you're getting Julio Jones possibly back this week. For the Jags, you start James Robinson, who's been pretty hot, and Laviska Shenault are the only two guys I would possibly play from that roster or from that team. But I'm going with Tennessee on this one. They should win this pretty easily. But definitely James Robinson should be involved. So it's Shenault. So definitely roll with them. But Tennessee should for the win.
I'm with you because there's no way the Titans are going to give another team their first win, I think. So Titans all the way. And I won't make any Urban Meyer jokes.
Oh my God.
Despite the temptation.
I know you want to, but it's okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go to the last game, and that's the Monday Night Football game. It's going to be the Colts and the Ravens. And I'm not going to pick anybody for the Colts on this one except for Jonathan Taylor. I'm not really seeing a lot going on. Mo Alley-Cox had a good game last week, but that's very touchdown dependent, and I would not suggest starting him. Or anybody other than Jonathan Taylor and maybe Nyheim Hines if he can get in some action. But for the Ravens, of course, you're going to start the guys like Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown. And stay tuned to see if we see Rashad Bateman. The rumors he could play his first game on Monday night. But you wouldn't start him because you're not going to know. And by Monday, you can't replace him. So just keep your head tuned in and see what happens. He could be interesting to watch. Ravens are going to win this one easily.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. They should win. Carson Wentz look terrible. Yeah. Not look terrible, but he hasn't looked great this year. So, right. He's looking like Carson Wentz. So, but I think the Ravens should win this. Lamar should have a good game. Definitely. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the games. So,
well, that's all we got, people. You know what it is. You know how to find us. And like I say, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We are at 51 subscribers. Let's shoot for the 100 ones. Let's shoot for the 100. Let's go.
All right, peace, y'all. Good luck.